Howdy, everybody, and welcome to a Tuesday edition of the B Team. It's a Top 5 Tuesday. I'm Ryan Brauninger. Usually sitting next to me is Richard Zane. However, Liucci just finished up an Ask Liucci here at the table to my right, and he said he wanted to sit in for 5 minutes, and I asked him why, and he said, well, this is going to be funny. So
we were talking about, I just felt like this is like B Team fodder content.
Have you listened to the show yet?
Yeah, I do sometimes.
Okay, I just didn't know if you knew the subject matter of the show.
You know, I try to listen because this is a lot of times like my my workout time, late afternoon. So I try to listen while I'm in there, and then I'll either start talking to someone, or someone will call, and I'll get taken off of it. So then I'll always try to listen to a little bit, just to keep tabs on you yahoos. But so here's the deal. We were talking about, somebody wrote in, what is Brauny an expert on this week? And I said, I don't know. Like, you could ask him on the deal. He might be like some kind of smoking pork butts, and he can do that now.
It seems like something that would be right up my alley.
It does.
That's a good call.
It does. Yeah. But what I said was, I was talking about the bourbon expert. And then I was about to tell the story that I told the other day out there. I said, you know what, we should tell this on air and see what See what Brauny's...
get me in trouble with my wife?
No.
Okay.
What have you ever done to get in trouble with Ashley?
I don't know. I just don't know if this is going on the internet. It's a permanent place. It's going to live forever.
Yeah, no. So Brauny, I bring him last football season. I think it was football. It was Texas weekend, like Friday night. He comes over to a buddy of mine's house out in Traditions, who's got
this is going to make me sound like an alcoholic. An
epic bourbon collection.
He does.
And Brauny walks in and starts critiquing this guy's bourbon. Doesn't even say hi. It's just like, what you got here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is I don't really like this one. This is overrated. And he's going through, and this guy never asks, like, hey, tell me your opinion on all my bourbon. And then he's like, well, would you like some? And he goes, I would love it. It's like a $5,000 bottle of bourbon.
I'll tell you, it's called Rock Hill Farms. Mm-hmm. It is a allocated bourbon that it's my favorite pour. Yeah, it's very hard to get. Can you tell, do I sound like I'm catching something?
Yeah. I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, it's going around.
Get out of here pretty quick.
Anyway, Billy, as most of you know, Billy's stories are highly embellished, but I was impressed with this guy's bourbon collection. So,
and asked for like the hardest, the most rare one.
Let me check the MSRP on that bottle.
And then, so he's diving in. By the way, he also had a friend with him, some sidekick that shall remain nameless, that also took this guy's bourbon, his best bourbon, or most rare, whatever. You guys, it's funny, like y'all, and I'm sure you got a lot of them on listening to this because we have them on the boards. Isn't it funny how you went down this road? Y'all become y'all think y'all are like the original bootleggers. Any friend I've ever had that's into bourbon, they think they're like a legitimate bootlegger. Like, hey, found out there in Brenham at the corner store in Brenham, they've got 6.
You've got to. That's called bourbon hunting. You have to go look for because some of these liquor stores. Texas is not a state-controlled liquor license state. Like in Alabama, all the Alabama liquor stores are called ABCs, Alabama Beverage Commission. Mm-hmm. The state controls the prices. So in Texas, it's not like that. So you got to go look for close to as MSRP as you can get. So I just looked up this bottle you were talking about. MSRP is actually $70, but on the secondary market, when you see it in the wild, $250 to $400.
Okay, so
not some
y'all are like
$5,000 Weller millennial.
They're calling people. Hey, hey, you want to trade I got a bottle of this if you want. Hey, I went and got this bottle.
How many of your friends are like this?
Several.
Do you care to name? Because you've called me out on the show. Do you care to call them out as well?
But you're doing the show. We're talking. I don't think I want to call the other bourbon hunters out. I'll tell you. There's several of them. And here's the thing. One time we went to Napa Flats and walked over to Specs with a couple of these bourbon hunters. There was me and 3 other people. And they had some kind. What do you remember what it was?
I think if it's, let's see, is it Mr. Bala? Can I say that? Mr. Bala was one of them, so it was probably a E.H. Taylor, because I remember you telling me about it.
That's right. It was E.H. Taylor that I'd never heard of. You know, I don't drink bourbon. I actually am allergic to, I think I am. It makes me sneeze and makes
Everybody's allergic to alcohol.
Just sneeze, though, like 50 times if I drink bourbon. So we'll go in there, and they find out, there's this E.H. Taylor, and they're like, is there a 2-bottle maximum, or, and they're like, no, there's not. So these buffoons, all 3 of them, buy like 2 boxes each, so like 12 bottles each. And then I'm like,
I would never do that.
Maybe they bought 1 box each, it's 6 bottles each, but it was 6 or 12 bottles apiece. So it's like these 3 grown men. I took a picture of them. They're standing there in line with like these boxes of bottles of bourbon, literally look like they were just stealing. They look guilty, like they're just smuggling bourbon across the border.
Can you forward them a message for me?
So I bought 2 of them because I was like, just to have them at the house when somebody,
Can you forward them a message for me? The actual real bourbon scene would snub their nose at behavior like that, because that's an allocated. Well, it's not as allocated as it used to be, but it's still kind of hard to come by. Mm-hmm. So if you got 3 buffoons that walk in, 3 toads walk in, and they carry it out by the
just
case,
give it out to all their friends,
and so a lot of other people that would want to go in there and buy that are unable to.
Yeah, that's what they do, and that's what you people do. And it's funny that so far you've again, to follow up to the question, Brauninger, and now you're doing Brauny's Bites. So I've also dubbed you Brauninger.
I'm getting down with some of these. Actually, so when I went to Southeast Texas and did my Brauny Bites, stopped and got some, I would say it's, I don't know, what would you, like artisan boudin. And so I'm going to bring some in on Thursday for our bit. I left it in Nederland, so I'm hoping I can get it back, meet my mom halfway somewhere, but we're going to be eating that, and I'll leave some for you to try. You like boudin?
I do.
It's a good week. It's a good week because it's LSU week.
Why is it artisan boudin?
So it's not traditional. So like this butcher shop in Nederland, they always do like
stuff it with something else.
Yeah. So like one's Frito chili pie boudin. One is brisket and queso boudin. So it's like that's like a Tex-Mex and a Cajun mix. It's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what you had for me.
Yeah. Why don't you get Zane in here?
Hey, real quick though. So our top 5 list today. We'll get to see if we can. We do top 5 winners and losers from the college football weekend. Can you give me 1 winner and 1 loser?
I think.
Like, who do you think was the biggest winner of the weekend?
I think I'm losing track of the weekends now. The biggest winner might be Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State.
Season's back on track for sure.
A big winner. They lost to Mississippi State, and they shouldn't have lost it. Right? They just a bad defensive call there. They had that game won.
Dominated the second
and couldn't
half.
punch it in down at the goal line to end it. I think they were up 4, right? Or they were up maybe 3 and went up. So whatever it was, they couldn't punch it in to end it. They had to kick a field goal, and it let. So yeah, to beat Tech like that, I thought that was.
There was a lot of. It was hard. They're on my honorable mention. They didn't even make my top 5 list. And then your loser, somebody that just
give me 1 more
of my winners, BYU.
Yeah, because that's
War,
quite a hurdle. Yes. Holy War, and they play in Lubbock. That game's going to be interesting. If BYU beats them, the Big 12's getting 1.
I know, and it's going to be interesting to see how some of them in Big 12 and the ACC, super interesting.
ACC's Louisville obviously was a big winner, and by the way, 5-1 now there. It's going to be interesting to see.
Virginia has the 1 loss, and it's to NC State out of conference.
Miami's going to be the big winner because they're not going to have to play in it. If they what's going to be really interesting is if Miami loses 1 more, they're not in it 10-2. There's going to be too many SEC teams that are in that 10-2 realm that won't be in. What if they lose and go 10-2 and it comes down to Miami or Notre Dame? And Notre Dame's on a 10-game winning streak.
Oh, Notre Dame's getting in at 10-2.
But they lost to Miami.
Oh, yeah. This is no different than A&M, a 10-2
Well,
A&M.
it's a little different, though, because A&M will have gone through an SEC schedule. And, but big loser,
There's a couple of them, man. There's actually, I had 3 that were head and shoulders bigger.
One is Cristobal. Again, like just because I just think
I think Louisville,
Louisville's good, but it's just Cristobal and just the way they went out. Carson Beck is certainly it might be him more than Cristobal throwing those 4 picks.
They look
kind
like
of flashing
Georgia,
flashing back to old Carson Beck.
Man, there's one in the Heartland.
Oh yeah, that was bad for Nebraska.
Bad.
Really bad. And Penn State, like, are they really trying to hire Matt Rule and fire? Here's the deal. Are you really trying to fire James Franklin and hire Matt Rule? Like,
this feels like it could be Mark Stoops.
I don't think
their AD hired him at Temple, right?
Yeah. Man, that's a terrible loss. Nebraska just can't. It's amazing to me that they can't. Like, people can talk about A&M, like, oh, it's a sleeping giant, or they can't. Like, look at A&M in the last 15 years versus Nebraska.
I don't know how Nebraska ever gets back.
A&M's got 2 top 5 finishes during that time. Nebraska probably doesn't. They don't have a top 10.
No, and
one
unless they've got a Cody Campbell out there that we're unaware of. Like, how do they get back?
Yeah, it's tough. It's probably forget about getting back though. We got to hear their shit every time they get in the top 25. Like they're back. They don't even like approach like sneaking into the top 10.
I know.
So,
and you looked at their schedule this year and you're going, man, it's pretty manageable. There was Michigan at home, and then they beat Cincinnati to start the year.
And they're lucky they beat Cincinnati.
I know.
And
I'm looking at it 2 weeks ago.
You missed a touchdown to win it.
You're looking at their schedule. Like we were on the show 2 weeks ago. Man, can Nebraska get to 10 wins? No way. They're 8-4, 7-5 football team.
Yep.
So hey, I had Nebraska really high. Not my number 1 though.
Who's your number 1? I know I'm spoiling.
Yeah, nobody cares. Listen, man, if you've had 3 times where a head coach has been fired after beating you in 3 consecutive years, or 3 out of 4 years, Mississippi State's my number 1 loser. Remember Gus Malzahn?
I know Jimbo. Oh, it's Gus. Okay. Yeah.
Gus Malzahn, Jimbo, and Billy Napier. They beat Mississippi State, and then you're fired the next
that game going to overtime, and then they throw that pick.
They could have won it.
Yeah.
It was a heinous interception.
And I think Shapen's a decent quarterback. Like, what is he doing?
I like Jeff Lebby. Seems like he's trying to do it the right way. Like, I tend to like the guy. I think here's something to ask.
I do too.
What are the hardest jobs in the big 3 sports in this league?
I think football. It's
Kentucky.
Yeah, probably Mississippi State might be second. Kentucky might be 1. I mean, hell, you can say Vandy, but their last 2 coaches, or 2 of their last 3 coaches have won there. Franklin, Clark Lee. I mean, probably Kentucky, Mississippi State. I'd say Kentucky.
I would say Mizzou baseball's up there.
It's got to be 1, right?
It's got to, yeah. But it's hard to make that list. I think those 3 jobs you said, maybe South Carolina basketball, but they
went to a Final Four under their last coach. But it's tough. Basketball's a weird one because everybody's
pretty good,
or they have been to prove that you can be there.
Georgia basketball?
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's like that's the answer because they're the only one that have generally stunk the whole time. But I still don't know if that means it's the hardest job. Like, why is it? Because it's a football school?
Mississippi State basketball is probably in there.
Yeah, I think Mississippi State football and basketball are in there. And then baseball is one of the best. So
it's interesting. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you dropping in.
Get us some Boudin, please. And bourbon. Bourbon and Boudin.
Right. I don't know if we're allowed to do that on the show, at least one of them. All right, Richard. Kate, is Richard around? Oh, he's coming in. All right. So Billy Liucci joins us there on the show, and we're going to welcome in our typical co-host, everybody's favorite, Richard Zane. We got to get into Blue Jays Mariners Game 7. We now have a World Series set. I'm going to put Richard on a clock, Cade. When he gets in here, we are going to see how brief and concise he can keep the answer to this question. Does Shohei Ohtani have the 2 greatest single-game performances in baseball history?
He has at least one.
Well, the one last year against the Marlins, too, whenever he went 50-50, was pretty remarkable.
I agree.
Now, at the end of that game, they were throwing position players.
No,
right?
That's a good point. I would just say that the other one is, the most recent one is far more impressive in my opinion because he pitched.
And the stakes around the game.
He hit 3 bombs, and it was in the NLCS.
Sure.
I don't know if anybody's ever going to have even a chance to top that, at least in the near future, like looking ahead to what we can predict.
So here it is. This is from September 19th, 2024. This is Ohtani, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, first player to 50.
6 for 6, triple shy of the cycle.
So the question that I asked before you got in here was, I am going to pose this question to you, and I want to put a timer on you on how brief and succinct you can be without being overly simple about it. Does Shohei Ohtani have the 2 greatest single-game performances in baseball history?
I think Fridays is absolutely up there. I don't know if
Fridays is lay down. I
don't know if the 50-50 game counts or would qualify.
It's a regular season game against a bad team. It's a regular season
game against a really bad team. You're already going to clinch the division, like run away with it kind of situation.
But it's still an insane stat line.
It's an insane stat line, but think about how many times dudes have thrown perfect games. I think perfect games are more impressive than 10 RBI games.
How many 6 for 6 games have there been?
I don't know.
Look that up, Cade. Can you look that up for us? And compare them. 6 for 6 games.
Do it all the time on MLB The Show.
Or compared to perfect games. Like which one's more common?
Christian Yelich did it once this year. There's only one 6 for 6 game this year.
No
Christian
perfect
Yelich.
Games?
I don't think there was perfect. See, there's quite a few 6 for 6 games.
Way more than perfect games.
Yeah, way more 6 for 6 games than perfect games.
Okay. So, we can throw that one out. So, a perfect game would outdo 6 for 6, but even 6 for 6, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. But you're not going to outdo what he did the other night on Friday. 3 for 3, 3 homers, 10 punchies. Dodgers propel themselves to another World Series where now we know they will face the Toronto Blue Jays. And I said last week that in the office over the weekend, I said I was going to give the Houston Texans 1 quarter to see if they could keep me awake for that Monday Night Football game. They did not. They stink.
Yeah.
But what did keep me up was Mariners Blue Jays. Electric atmosphere. And you'll see on your rundown, I asked this question, is George Springer one of the more underrated players of his generation?
I don't know if he's underrated. I think he's properly rated. I think he is, without a doubt, one of the top 5 most clutch players of his entire generation. And I'm not sure he gets enough credit for that. But what he does in 162 game schedules, he's properly rated.
What I'm saying though is, if you were going to make a dream team, right, and you were going to fill it with 8 outfielders. Does George Springer make that 8 outfielder list? See, that's what I'm saying. I think he's a little bit. He's been a really good player for over a decade, but has he ever been the superstar?
No, he's never had to be.
No, unless it's in the postseason. He has been a postseason superstar.
He's been a great player.
And last night, that 3-run homer, everybody that's an Astros fan, that just recalled so many memories. And not to call upon bad ones for you, but that's 2017, he was the World Series MVP.
Sure. Haunts my nightmares.
Yes, really won Game 7 in LA. And he did it again last night for Toronto, almost a decade later.
I had a thought about George Springer. He might be my favorite non-Dodger position player. He's such an easy
likable
dude to root for. He's so likable, plays the game the right way, always has big moments, stuff like that. I love the stuff he does off the field, working with kids with stutters, something that he had dealt with as a child. He's got a cool story, and he's easy to root for, even when he was beating the Dodgers, right? I like George Springer. I was trying to think position players that I really love watching. Right now, there aren't that many. out there that I just love watching. That I wouldn't, they're not the obviously I've got the favorite players on other teams that have been with the Dodgers and have since left. Seager, Bellinger, Justin Turner for a long time. But like I love watching Bobby Witt Jr. play shortstop.
Yeah.
I don't watch a ton of Royals baseball though. I'm trying to think like other names.
I mean, I enjoyed Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber, sure.
Just electric show in the batter's box.
I didn't really watch a lot of the Mariners this year. Cal Raleigh, insane year, should win the American League MVP. Lay down, no question about it.
I'm a Alejandro
I've got
Kirk
Aaron
fan.
Judge fatigue.
Yeah.
I've got Yankee fatigue all the time.
Alejandro Kirk.
The human bathtub.
Human bathtub.
I'm trying to think who else. I like Julio Rodriguez. Get to watch him a little bit more. But
we got to go. So let's go through that. That's a good segue.
I don't really like Machado. I don't really like Tatis. I don't like those
Padres
guys.
and they're
Yeah, but that's fine. I can admit that I loved
probably
watching.
don't like anybody on the Giants.
I loved watching Buster Posey.
Yeah, Buster Posey, good player.
Brandon Crawford in the day.
Buster
Amazing
Posey has
defender.
got us on Tony Vitello watch.
Yeah, that's true.
They got people going to practice filming him whenever he shows up, whenever he goes in.
Today.
The folks in Knoxville are tracking Tony V's every step. But I wanted to get into the ending of that game last night. Okay, you said you don't have a ton of players on other teams that you just love to watch play. I guess I probably had more when I was younger, and I was a fan of just Baseball Tonight was so ubiquitous and it was on every. I loved it. Now I don't have MLB Network with my YouTube TV package, so whatever I pick up is just highlights that I see on on Twitter or social media or on YouTube, whatever. I'll tell you this though, after watching this ALCS, I like watching the Toronto Blue Jays play. They're fun, man.
Play the game the right way.
They run bases like madmen, and they're super intense. What you watched, I think to a certain extent. Now I'll get into where the Mariners made some bad decisions, both player and coach. But you were watching two teams that really kind of play a college baseball style of game between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. The Dodgers don't, and the Dodgers don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers have so much firepower on the mound and in the lineup. Like, we're just going to let our players play. Like, we don't have to do anything outside of swing the bat, throw the ball, and we're better than you. That's what they are. But
so are you making the argument right now that you don't have to be a good manager to win a World Series with the Dodger roster?
I think you could win the World Series with the Dodgers.
Thank you. I've been making that argument for 6 years.
So last night, early in the game, you could tell, like, it's a game 7. It's an ALCS. Yeah. So, like, the Mariners sack bunt in the 3rd inning. J.P. Crawford.
Great scratch or run across whenever you can.
Great sack bunt, 2nd and 3rd.
Which is shocking because they couldn't, for the life of them, lay down a bunt in that marathon game with the Tigers.
Yes.
And I ultimately thought it was going to come back to bite them, and it didn't.
And it's just, you never know how much certain teams practice that stuff. And I'm sure once that situation arose against Detroit and they didn't execute, the next few weeks during their BP sessions, they had a lot of bunt work. That being said, so last night they do execute. J.P. Crawford bunts, successful, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. The Blue Jays play the infield back. So they're going to concede a run in the 3rd inning if you can just put the ball in play.
Yeah.
They're not trying to cut the runner down. Thought it was an interesting move. I like the Blue Jays manager too, John Schneider. Listened to a bunch of his stuff. His in-game interview got me interested in his background, the whole thing. I became a fan of him last night, the more research that I did. He plays his infield back, and Shane Bieber's on the mound for Toronto. Leo Rivas is the hitter for the Mariners. And as he's walking to the plate, what's your guy's name, the play-by-play guy?
Joe Davis.
Joe Davis. Joe Davis talks about him being it wasn't Joe Davis, was it?
Joe Davis.
It was John Smoltz?
It's Joe Davis and John Smoltz are the Fox crew.
Okay. So Joe Davis is talking about, hey, that's good play because you have a high contact guy coming up in Rivas, and they're going to play the infield back. They're going to concede the run. Great. Well, it's just crazy how everything gets magnified by a billion in these winner-take-all type of games. So Rivas comes up, and the 0-0 pitch is a fastball elevated just off the center of the plate, and he takes it for a strike. And he backs out of the box shaking his head, yes. I hate that. I hate that so much. And guess what happens 2 pitches later? Punch out on a changeup, then a back foot slider on a ball in the dirt. The following hitter was
2 outs now.
Yes, it was the guy that started in He used to be with the Nationals. He hit 9-hole for him last night. I always forget his name. No, the Dominican guy.
Yeah, the guy, Polanco?
No. I'm going to look it up because now it's going to bother me.
Is it the guy that
Victor Robles. Victor Robles. So Victor Robles comes up. He taps the ball back to the mound on the first pitch. So the Mariners go from second and third, 1 out, 4 pitches later, out of the inning with nothing across, and the momentum completely flips back to Toronto, and it goes back to that first pitch heater with the infield back, and you're a contact guy.
Put the ball in play.
What are you doing?
Swing.
If you hit the ground ball to short there, the job's done. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Like, again, we talked about it in the Dodgers-Brewers series when Bryce Terang gets out of the way of the ball. Yeah. It's a mentality thing. And you're up there trying to get a hit because in 162 games leading up to that point, all you're doing up there, even in that spot, is just trying to get a hit. You're not trying to get the run home. And I would imagine that's a hard switch to flip. And you just know, like, you watch enough baseball, when you take that 0-0 heater and that RBI spot with the infield back, you're screwed, dude. You're screwed. And that is one instance where the game knows.
Yeah, it's true.
And then let me ask you this. What did you think of Dan Wilson's decision to take Brian Wu out of the game?
To be honest with you, I wasn't paying too much attention to that game because I was split screen watching the same time as the Lion game.
Oh, so he takes Brian Wu out.
Wu was dominant. He was walking off the mound, swaggering. Like, he looked unhittable. I follow a guy named Joe Doyle. He's pretty good around the MLB draft. He has a bunch of stuff out early. Kelly Gardner actually told me I needed to follow him before this last draft. I think he's a Mariners guy. And he tweeted when Springer hit the home run, he said, "Get too cute." So I guess that he was upset that Wu came out of the game.
Well,
and that was really their ace in the hole, right? That was their secret weapon.
He was coming back off of,
like he hadn't used him. Why not ride it? I don't get it, man.
You have when you're in the dugout in that situation, you're playing gut feel versus playing what the numbers say, right? And I know, like, how often that's in college baseball, that decision is put before you where you're going, okay, this guy really struggles with right-handed sliders, but I got Justin Lampkin going, and his fastball away and his changeup are filthy. Like, what do my eyes say versus what do the numbers say? And that's where feel versus real comes in on the manager's side. So it's a difficult decision. And Dan Wilson, no doubt in my mind that the numbers say that Wu was not the guy to get Springer.
Sure.
But in the moment, the way he was going,
I would have rather seen Wu if I was a Mariners fan.
And Wu has been your best guy. Like, if Springer homers off of Wu, you're going, okay, like, he beat my best guy. But then if it happens that way and the numbers told you to make the switch, you're going to be kicking yourself for not listening to the data. So it's, you're putting your foot in your hind end either way.
Yep. Got a chat on the YouTube chat. Brad Duncan 88 says America is forced to root for Canada this World Series.
Wow.
Why? Why is that? Because you've been convinced by all the lemmings who are hanging out with billionaires or taking up for billionaires that have convinced you the Dodgers have ruined baseball? Because I can guarantee you that's not true.
They can root for whoever they want.
I agree. You can root for whoever you want. I asked my aunt, because she's a Astros season ticket holder, took me to a ton of games at Minute Maid growing up, or I guess now we call it Daikin Park or whatever. Icebox, juice box, you figure it out. She has always held a World Series party when the Astros are not in it. Friends come over, watch one of the games of the World Series, and when they were in the National League, they would always root for the NL representative. Now they're in the American League. Astros have been the American League's representative quite a bit.
Yes.
So I asked her, I said, so do you guys root for, I saw her this past weekend, I said, do you guys root for the American League representative? And she goes, well, if it's Seattle, I can't do it. I didn't know there was a beef.
Well, it's just the AL
I know
West.
they're
It's
divisional rivals, but like they've only been in the same division for 13 years. Right, 13. They came in 13.
Well, and the Astros have really been a house of horrors for the Mariners.
But then I saw on Twitter earlier today, Sean Pendergast, who's radio personality, just dunking on Mariner fans left and right after they lost.
I can't do that.
That's interesting. So I was curious, is there a beef that I don't know about where Houston fans can't stand Seattle?
If there is, I am unaware.
So I was shocked.
I'm not part of this beef either. So
I like Bryce.
Right.
I like Bryce Miller. George Kirby's awesome.
Bryce
Like they got
Miller,
a good
Kirby,
roster.
That team's fun.
Raleigh,
Yeah. I have
Rodriguez,
no problems with
Rosarina.
The only team in the division I really don't like is the Rangers.
Right.
Yeah, and that makes complete sense. Like 2 years ago, the Diamondbacks were in the World Series. Okay, don't care.
Well,
Good for them.
I wouldn't want them to win if I were a Dodger fan because that's the division.
Yeah, but there's no real rivalry there.
Yeah, you're right.
It was just interesting to me. I was curious. You can root for whoever you want to win, but I think if you're trying to play countries here,
All right, we
USA versus Canada,
We got to
come on.
switch gears. I mean, I can sit here and talk baseball, especially how the final innings of that went last night was. If you are a pitch-to-pitch baseball fanatic, that was theater, cinema.
It's good stuff. I mean, the reactions in that ballpark are awesome.
But we got to switch gears to college football because, boy, do we got a lot to get to on the gridiron. Man, this cold thing that's going around. It went around the office. Remember, Nick had it last week. Kaylee had it. Now I'm starting to get it. My throat is super scratchy. Cade had it. It was getting over it last week. It's like just ear, nose, and throat stuff, Cade, right? Like,
Yeah, it's that season. It's weird because
You
it
need
doesn't
some water?
feel like because the weather it's still been so freaking hot. It doesn't feel like it's that season, but it still is. So
yeah,
I guess that's why.
What killed me is when I went to start mowing the grass yesterday. I don't know what happened, but start the mower and like a bunch of dried grass just flew up
Blows up in your face.
and I took a big inhale of that. And since then, like my throat has been itchy, scratchy. I got drainage. I got stuffy ears. Like I'm on my way to a head cold here. We're going to try to fight through it. But
Lucky for me, I'll keep knocking on wood.
where do we want to start on the college football circuit? Because look, we've had two, I'm going to put this in parentheses if you're just listening to us, votes of confidence from ADs.
You want to talk about Hugh Freeze first? Because I think that's the dumbest thing on the planet that you would even ask
Hugh
for
Freeze
one.
comes out in his press conference and basically begs
What are you doing, dude?
for John Cohen, the Auburn AD, for a vote of confidence and said he would make him feel a lot better about things. Brother, you're about to go up to Fayetteville, and here, sneak peek into our picks this week, Hogs by 2 touchdowns.
It's not a bad pick. I thought that was a crazy quote he said in his press conference. The one I'm clinging to is, quote, "I want a chance to fix this." Brother, it's year 3.
And they've given you everything.
You went 6-7 and then regressed to 5-7 in year 2. Now you're looking at another 5-win, 6-win season. You're not even showing signs of fixing anything.
Well,
You're supposed to be an offensive mind. What do you think Auburn's averaging points per game in their 4 conference games?
10, 11 points?
13.5.
Yeah.
It's not going to win in today's college football.
No. And I did see one of the On3/Rivals insiders for Auburn put out an update that said that they were taking into account getting screwed against Georgia and Oklahoma. Like that was not a key piece to whether they're going to fire him or keep him, but it was something that was just being discussed. And I'm going, all right, like you did get screwed for sure against Oklahoma. Against Georgia, that was malpractice and officiating and just adjudicating the game in a timely manner. Like you're flipping a coin on that play at the goal line, right? Like if you're wearing Auburn colors, you see it as a touchdown. If you're wearing Georgia colors, you see it as it came up short. Okay, whatever. What outside of even those 2 instances has given you any indication that this is the guy for you going forward whenever you provided him a ton of NIL money?
Yeah.
They're paying Cam Coleman a bunch of money. They're paying Eric Singleton a bunch of money. And oh, by the way, your biggest issue is the quarterback. And guess who picked Jackson Arnold?
Hand-picked Jackson Arnold over another guy who's a Heisman favorite at Indiana.
And Carson Beck.
Like, what are we doing?
If Connor Wigman's in Auburn, they've got more wins.
Yeah.
So, like, you went and picked Jackson Arnold.
Connor Wigman with some dogs. I don't want some cats up in the house.
They're 6-1.
I know.
That's another name to keep around, like keep in the back of your mind with all these coaching vacancies. We got to get to that too. But Willie Fritz. But the thing that with Houston's got a donor that can step up and pay in Tillman Fertitta. So you mentioned the need for a vote of confidence from Hugh Freeze.
You're not getting it, dude. Go.
But
get
what
rid of
about what's happening in Tallahassee? Did you read the statement from their AD? It
was
basically said we're backing Mike Norvell in this 2025 Florida State Seminole football team. What? There's never been a hey, he's fired, but we're like that's such a save face. They're firing him. They are like that. That was the worst.
He's fine for 2025, but we'll see about 2026.
That was the worst vote of confidence I've ever seen. Like in terms of degrees, vote of confidence, that's at a 0.
That's bad. But to be fair, the teams they've lost to the last 4 weeks.
You know what? We talked about.
I don't think you get to go up to Palo Alto and get a vote of confidence.
We talked about that game on the B team.
I was stunned.
Florida State's going to Stanford.
That was on your upset alert list, right?
I think it was, yeah.
I was stunned. I did not stay up to watch the late game on Saturday night. And it was like noon before I realized, before Jenna told me, oh no, Florida State lost. I'm like...
And I think that was probably a touchdown at the end. But
what?
Like, why are you in a one score? Why are you having to drive the field and try to score against Stanford?
How did we lose to Stanford?
The further that we get away from that Alabama versus Florida State game, that was amazing. A complete anomaly for both teams.
It's amazing, and it's truly amazing how Alabama has rebounded and put themselves in a position to win the Southeastern Conference and potentially a national championship. Remember, in August, people wanted to fire Kalen DeBoer.
He was one more loss away after the Florida State game to being on the real hot seat. Here's another wild one. Vote of confidence by Chris McIntosh, the AD at the University of Wisconsin.
Ooh.
His letter was long-winded and basically said, to me, it sounded like he was kind of advocating for himself and for himself not to be fired, saying we just don't have the funds to support Luke Fickell the way we do or the way we need to. That one was bizarre. It's like he wrote that so he doesn't get fired.
In their last 4 games, do you know how many points Wisconsin has scored? Their last 4 games. 20. They've scored 20 total points in their last 4 games. They lost to Maryland 27-10. They lost to Michigan 24-10. The Michigan team that's terrible, by the way. Lost to Iowa 37-0, and then lost to Ohio State 34-0. That's amazing. How does Luke Fickell survive? How does Luke Fickell survive averaging 5 points per game over his last 4? They're going to get bludgeoned this weekend.
Last 2.
Huh?
I mean,
he's averaging 0 over his last 2.
Yeah, that's true. Statement, quick math.
This statement basically says I'm bad at my job. Let's see if I can pull out some. Again, it was long-winded. Let's see if I can pull out some of the highlights.
What do you think of the news we saw today? Speaking of long-winded, I read that entire release from the Southeastern Conference.
Oh, about the A&M faking the injury?
Oh, good. Because 98% of Ags says can't tune in today, but will you guys please break down this BS fine from the league so I can watch later?
Somebody was going to catch it, man. They put this into practice over the offseason, and they haven't had a chance to pull it out of the holster yet.
The rule's been in place for 3 years.
With the fine?
The penalties have not.
So here's my thing is I don't understand. Like you flagged them in the game. The guy, Tyreek Chappelle, had to come out of the game, and then they got the flag. So, like, we're adding more penalty on top of just what's happening in the game. Why is there a financial – like, A&M was penalized on the field. They didn't get away with anything. They didn't cheat and get away with anything. In fact, it was – it was
beneficial for the Arkansas drive.
Right. It was beneficial for Arkansas. It was beneficial for the opponent. Why do you also got to pay $50,000 on top of it? But this is, again, to me, they were itching to get somebody with this thing.
Yeah, somebody was going to get caught, and it's just Texas A&M that had to be made an example of. I saw it in real time. That was one of the few things I remember watching Saturday night and being like, I watched Tyreek Chappelle go down. Now, he didn't come back immediately, so it's not like I think A&M probably tried their best to cover their tracks. But it was borderline. I was shocked that the fine is that hefty. $50,000 for a first-time offense?
If it happens again, it's $100,000.
And a suspension.
I think it's after. The third one's a suspension.
No, I think it's the next time is $100,000 and a suspension for the head coach.
gracious.
That is, it's almost like the yellow card accumulation, right? Like you're putting a lot of trust in 18 to 22-year-olds who have been operating in one way for years and years and years to know that rule. They're gambling with your ability to be on the sideline.
I found the quote I was looking for from Chris McIntosh, the Wisconsin AD. As a department, we must provide our coaches the tools necessary to succeed. That means more athletics-funded investments into infrastructure, staffing, and most importantly, student-athlete recruiting and retention. You have my unrelenting commitment to do what is necessary to make that happen. Thank you for the dedication, loyalty, and passion. So he's basically saying we are not funding the programs at the level that they need to be funded at. And it sounds like Luke Fickell is safe for now, unless the Wisconsin folks decide that statement does nothing for us other than piss us off even more. We're going to fire you and him.
I think they're probably a package deal, and they're both going to get pink slips by the end of the football season.
Well, good segue. Pink slips.
Pink slips.
Billy Napier got his.
Truff.
After beating Mississippi State, the Florida Gators have fired Billy Napier, something that everybody saw coming.
What is it about beating Mississippi State?
That's me and Billy talked about that. You know, it's the third time that's happened.
I know.
Gus Malzahn.
Gus,
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo beat him 51-10.
Yeah, Jimbo beat the brakes off him. Yeah,
with Jalen Henderson at quarterback.
And here's the thing:
Jalen Henderson was balling.
That was a heinous interception Blake Shapen threw.
Yeah, sure.
Or they would have gone down and potentially won that game. At least tied it and sent it to overtime. So Billy Napier is out, and that has fired up another round of the coaching carousel, led by Florida and Penn State. And my question to the group, I guess, would be, which one do you view as more? I think it's pretty clear that Florida's the better job.
You think?
Okay, make a case for Penn State why it's a better job than
Florida. I think they've got buy-in. They obviously have donor buy-in. I mean, the fan base is insane. I think it's easier to win in the Big Ten than it is in the SEC to get into the college football playoff. Penn State also just went to the semifinal with a coach they apparently don't believe in.
And here's my thing.
I will say that Florida's got the better quarterback in place, but the quarterback can move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at it from a roster situation. I just look at it from a program hierarchy. I'd have Florida in a one rung above Penn State in terms of job and attraction. And it has, I mean, you could cast just draw a 3-hour circle around Gainesville, and you could probably get an entire roster to compete in the SEC.
I think the fact that they've won some national championships this century is important to like how much like the job, like how much attraction there is for the job.
I think location as well.
Yeah, that too.
And no state income taxes in Florida. I'd be surprised. Everything I've heard is that I mean they're making Lane Kiffin the utmost priority. It's funny though, the Vegas odds for the Florida job right now, the best odds are with Alex Golesh. And this brings up a point that I put in the rundown is if you look at G5 coaches through their combined record only, I think it's a little disingenuous. Because you look at Alex Golesh, he went 7-6, 7-6, and now he's 6-1. So what is that? 20-7
yep.
in 2.5 years? Well, 7-6 is not going to blow the doors off of anybody, but until you got to, like, it's deeper than that. It's not just your win-loss record at these places. Like, I think Alex Golesh can really coach football, and those 7-6 records in the face of the stuff that he's dealt with, the program he took over, his quarterback got hurt in year 2, and then now he's finally got established there, and it's going the right direction, and he's completely flipped the outlook of South Florida. There's way more to it than just he's 20-7 overall.
Yeah.
I mean, what was Mike Elko's record as a head coach at Duke? It wasn't like he's 8-5 and then 9-4 and then 8-5.
That sounds correct.
Mike Elko at Duke was 9-4 and then 7-5, 16-9 in 2 years.
Like, does that blow the doors off of anybody? No, but you can tell, the guy can coach because what he did at Duke and an immediate impact he made at Duke, and we're seeing it now here in year 2 at A&M. So, like, my point is, there's about to be a lot of jobs open. There is inherent risk with anybody that you hire. And is there going to be enough good coaches to fill all these vacancies? And I don't think somebody's going to have to roll the dice on a coach.
Nick Saban was 9-2 at Toledo in 1990, then got the head coaching job at Michigan State in 95. 34-24-1 in 5 seasons in East Lansing. That doesn't really jump off the page.
No.
But it was enough to get him a job at LSU.
And the rest is history from there. So if you give Alex Golesh the support, the infrastructure, the recruiting base at the University of Florida, why can't he do it? Why can't he replicate what he's done there? There's some G5 coaches in this state that you'd ask the same questions about. Eric Morris. A little less proven. G.J. Kinney. Jeff Traylor, I think some shines wore off of Jeff Traylor, but again, you got to look at it and go, he took over that program from nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. I mean, Larry Coker was the coach there before.
Well, look at the job that the best example of it is McGuire.
Yeah,
at
Joey
Texas
McGuire.
Tech.
Yeah, and but again, like there's so much that goes into this. Joey McGuire finally got
buy-in.
He got some financial buy-in for sure.
A lot of it,
more so than anybody else has gotten, and he's turned it into a playoff caliber team in 1 year. Where when Texas Tech went into last offseason, they were looking at Joey McGuire and going, "Is this guy's on the hot seat? Like this is prove it time for Joey McGuire." And they stepped up and they backed him. And he's proven that he's a pretty good coach when you get him good players. And just like a point you make about Dave Roberts, if you've got incredible players, like how good of a coach are you?
What's the saying? Jimmys and Joes beat X's and O's?
So I just think if you're going to look at some of these job openings, and there's about to be a ton of them, somebody is going to hire young, unproven at the Power 4 level.
You're going to have to.
There's just not enough guys out there.
There's not enough competent coaches to fill the vacancies right now. And think about what else is going to come open, right? You've already got
we could
Penn
go this
State
list.
And Florida are already open. UCLA's open. Stanford's open. Oklahoma State's open.
There's 13 jobs open.
Yeah, but I think there's only 7 power conference jobs open right now.
But here, my thing is those non-P4 jobs,
you're going to have to take.
They may plug coordinators.
Well,
so the coaching carousel is going to keep moving even at the P5 level for these G5 jobs.
I think a coordinator or two are going to get Power 4 jobs.
Oh, without question.
Without a doubt.
Without question.
And that's like Auburn still hasn't come open. Michigan still hasn't come open. What are some of the other schools that are looking at firing a coach?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin hasn't come open. Florida State hasn't come open. I guess it depends on what happens in Baton Rouge the next couple of weeks. They might get real antsy real fast down there. How many SEC jobs are open?
Here, I got a question. Is Dabo movable? How many of these coaches are tired of where they're at?
How many people want to move Dabo?
Well, if I'm Arkansas and Dabo calls me, I just need to get out.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
I'd take that in a heartbeat.
That's true.
James Franklin's another one. If I'm Florida State and I fire Mike Norvell and James Franklin wants to come, absolutely.
Yeah, good point. But
like some of these coaches may get tired of where they're at.
You think Dabo's tired of where he's at?
Brian Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly seems like a guy.
But he's making too much money.
He seems like a guy who could run before he gets fired and has that blemish on his resume.
Shane Beamer.
Ooh, that guy's a bum.
I honestly,
if I'm him, I'd get out and go to Blacksburg.
My hot take
agree.
is that
I think you should go back to Virginia Tech.
I guess this might not be a hot take, but I think that a lot more people should be talking about Brian Kelly for that Penn State job than they're talking about Elko. Honestly. He already coached up in South Bend. So
the reason for that though is just because it's felt like an unhappy marriage from day one with Brian Kelly in Baton Rouge. And if you want to look at kind of where the ball started to roll downhill for him was last year right across the street in that blackout game. Mm-hmm. In that second half and A&M just pummeled them. I would love nothing more than for A&M to drive the dagger in a little bit deeper on Saturday night. Because you could be looking at this, if this goes downhill for Brian Kelly, and they have already fired up, the winds of change are blowing in Baton Rouge. No question. I mean, you go there, it's so toxic with their fan base right now.
It's a very dysfunctional family now.
Nothing would be sweeter than for A&M to just, keep pushing that ball a little bit further down off the ledge or get closer to the ledge. But yeah, you're looking through all these teams. Does North Carolina have a job come open?
They should.
They should.
They should.
Stanford's open.
Stanford's interesting. They're out there on an island by themselves. I know technically Cal's in the conference too, but no one really cares.
Oregon State's open.
It's like, does Stanford just eventually hire Andrew Luck to be the head coach and GM?
Ooh,
Maybe.
that'd be interesting.
I think he would do it, and he'd be qualified to do it. And I don't know how many people are jumping through hoops to be the head coach out there.
Hey, shout out Oregon State for winning a game, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to them. Good job. Are they in your winners, Kate?
I almost put them in there just because they won their first game, but I decided against
Just give
it.
them a shout out.
Yeah, just a shout out.
Here's some more schools that I think jobs could be coming open. Baylor.
Yeah. Poor Dave Aranda.
Colorado. They're not firing Dion, but Dion could want to get out.
Dion could hang it up.
Dion could go to Florida.
Mr. Depends himself.
Kansas State.
Time out, Kate. Did you just say Dion could go to Florida State?
No, to Florida.
If he's going to go anywhere, he'd go to Florida State.
Yeah,
That's
Florida.
actually you make a good point. That's
Yeah, he's a Florida State alum.
Rich Rodriguez is down way bad in Morgantown.
Good.
You don't like that guy?
No, dude, he ruined my childhood.
What about but again, we start talking about who's going to be up for all these number of jobs.
So many. This is the craziest carousel I think I've ever seen.
Brett Bielema.
Bert. I love Bert.
Piglama would be a good hire for somebody.
I think Bert could work at Penn State.
Does Kirk Ferentz hang him up?
I don't know. You've got him as a potential contender for the playoff.
No,
You
Iowa?
can get him to 10 wins.
No way. I had
I
Nebraska.
thought that was on your list.
Nebraska.
I thought that's on your list of teams that you had me go through.
Oh, just the two lost
How
teams.
many two-loss teams are still legit?
Yeah. That was one of the questions that I had written down. How many of these two lost teams are still legit playoff contenders? Notre Dame, yes. LSU, a lot of that. It'll be determined. A lot could be determined on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I agree completely. But even if they win on Saturday, I mean, their schedule is no cakewalk.
I know. They still got OU left. They still got Arkansas is going to beat somebody. And this is our first time to get on here, and we don't really talk about the games. But if you sit there and you were watching that A&M Arkansas game and Taylon Green did not remind you of Vince Young, you ain't old enough to remember Vince Young. That is exactly what Vince Young used to do to people.
Yeah, you and OB were talking about that. He was incredible.
Just outrunning angles and then still turning the corner, running for 40 or 50 yards, long strides, eating it up, and made some really good throws in that game. That was the most Vince Young looking performance I think I've ever watched since Vince left Austin. And here's another question that I've been posing around the office. What's the Auburn Tigers record if Taylon Green's their quarterback?
Dude, they might be undefeated right now. Is
Taylon Green the best player that A&M's played against this year? Jeremiah Love?
Jeremiah Love.
But Taylon Green might be too.
Yeah.
I was super impressed with him, and I'm so glad A&M don't have to play him anymore.
Well, I was glad when KJ Jefferson left, we didn't have to play him anymore, and he wasn't nearly as good as
I need an Arkansas
Green.
quarterback that is going to allow A&M to win by 2 or 3 scores.
Yeah, bring the Allen brothers back.
Oh, man.
Just not Ryan Mallett, please. May he rest in peace.
Bobby Petrino's trying to get that job, and he's got to win the game. He's got to win games to keep that job. I don't think he's going to get it, but they're late. He's down by 10, and the clock keeps running. He's got timeouts that I understand why he can't use them, because you got to try to score and then keep your timeouts because if it's less than 40 seconds and if you've got 2 timeouts left, the game's over.
Yeah.
So you got to keep your timeouts so that you can try to get the ball back and prevent A&M from getting a first down. Good luck with the way A&M was moving the ball in that game. But I was sitting there going with like a minute, 10 seconds left. I think they were at like the 25-yard line. Why not trot your kicker out there and kick the field goal? Give yourself as much time as possible if you get the onside kick.
I think that a lot. Like, when do you decide to go for 2 points, right? If you're down 15, when do you go for 2 points? Do you go for it on the first touchdown or the second? Why?
Because it keeps you within 1 score.
But I would much rather know that I need 2 scores earlier. That way I can alter my game calling.
Yeah, to me, though, you keep it within 2 scores for as long as possible.
Well, if I'm recalling correctly, there was a point in time during that game where they had 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout, or all 3 timeouts, and they were in field goal range. I would have just kicked it there and then you can actually kick it off and play defense and try to get the ball back.
As long as you don't give up a first down, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't give up a first down, which I know at that point you probably don't trust your defense to do that, but they had just done it a drive earlier.
I was so pissed though. I was so pissed on the flag for Marcel's long touch. Like that was game over.
It was game over.
Game over.
We were going nuts. We were at the we were at the Garth Brooks concert in Austin, watching on our phones, going nuts, and then had to go.
Yeah, I
drop
mean,
some expletives.
Wasn't even
wasn't even close. Hey, you guys, you brought up a good question about game calling. After you had gotten stuffed on the goal line on 3rd and 1, you tried an over-the-top play. Would you call the same thing? Would you try to get creative and run something else? Or would you just kick a field goal knowing the team you're playing can't score a touchdown and beat you? What would you do, Ronnie?
I mean, after you got stuffed the way you did on 3rd down,
terrible.
I would have kicked the field goal.
Just terrible.
Texas scored 1 touchdown in that game. Do you know how long the drive was?
How long was the drive?
5 yards.
Jeez.
It was after a Ryan Niblett punt return. Ryan Niblett's their best player, at least offensive player. Biggest threat to score, no doubt. But to me, I felt like, man, you're Kentucky. Like, kick the field goal. They're not going to score a touchdown. You're going to at least live to see another day. Texas has a good field goal kicker. If you don't score, they are going to kick the field goal and win.
Didn't they miss a field goal earlier though?
He hit 3. He hit 3 of them in that game. You ran the same exact play twice.
That was terrible.
And
it's not like
from the 4-yard line like he's Marcus Allen.
He's not Bo Jackson. He is not Herschel Walker. He's some scab I've never heard of trying to go over the top.
Stupidest play call.
So bad. And we get to hear it every week because we know A&M struggled on 3rd and 4th and short last year, and Coach Elko's been very transparent about saying, we really went out and sought different ways to be successful. We've seen A&M run the T. We've seen them hand the ball off to tight ends. We saw a big-time play from E.J. Smith where he just refused to give in, but they were going off tackle, right? They were doing other things instead of going straight up the gut. If you have seen that you've gotten stuffed once, do something different. The definition of his insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. But that seems to be the Mark Stoops credo.
And also, if you've done any scouting at all over the last 2 years of Texas defenses, they're really good in those spots.
Yeah.
Exceptionally good in goal-to-go situations.
I absolutely trust Texas's defensive line to win the point of attack on a 4th and short, goal-to-go situation, whatever you want to call it, against the Kentucky Wildcats.
They didn't even make my top 5 losers, and that's a good segue because they should be in there. For those play calls alone.
They're not in my top 5 losers, but Texas is.
They had 26 first downs to Texas's 8, and they lost. And I'll tell you this, if I'm a Longhorn fan, a lot of them got on social media and they got on YouTube, and they ripped that performance, and I understand. But you ain't been in the league long enough. Like, if A&M does the exact same thing on Saturday night, if LSU gets 26 first downs and A&M gets 8, and A&M wins the game, don't care. Don't care. So I don't know why Texas fans are acting like they got to apologize for that.
No, you don't have to. They don't ask how, Brauny. They ask how many. And everybody's chasing right now.
By
the
hook
number
or by
is
crook
10.
in this league, man. Like, I don't care if you need a walk-off field goal to beat Sanford. And if you go to 11-0 after that,
win the game.
Win the game. Don't care. It's a very interesting dynamic in the league right now. And then we'll see. There's some real toxicity amongst some fan bases bubbling up in Columbia, South Carolina, in Baton Rouge, in Austin.
Are we talking winners and losers now?
Yeah, we're going to start talking. Let's talk winners. We only got 10 minutes left in the show, and we got 15. We got 3 top 5, so we got 15 things to get to here. Top 5 winners and losers. And by the way, our specialty top 5 today, top 5 tacos. And I went specific. So if you were looking for taco recommendations, I've got them. I
do like Brauny's Taco Rex.
All
Been to a couple Mexican places with this man. Always a good choice.
Top 5 winners. Again, we have them in an order, but if we talk about one, we'll skip it if it comes around on somebody else's list. Number 5 for me, the Louisville Cardinals.
Not on my list.
Not on my list.
That's a huge win for them, and now they control their own destiny in the ACC. Dude. Jeff Brom is a Louisville lifer. I think somebody is going to offer him a ton of money to try to get him to move. He's a really good coach. Really, really good coach. Louisville, better off financially, I think, than most people realize.
Yeah, thanks to that Papa John's money.
Well, I don't know if we can talk about that guy.
You're allowed to. Can we say that?
I don't know. They don't really make the best pizza either.
No, I don't like their pizza either. It's not even my fast food pizza joint. KFC, Yum Brands.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They got some stuff.
All right, so Louisville number 5 for me.
How fun is the ACC? Like you say, they control their own destiny. The ACC is kind of
it's
real
fun. It's fun up to the point they start stealing bids.
Yeah, that's fine.
I need one ACC team to get in.
That's a good point. 5 on my list. Texas A&M, man. Surviving motorcycle nights, always good. It's a homer pick. On these. It's a homer pick. I don't care. Screw you guys. Not an easy place to win. You sat through a weather delay. Marcel Reed looks like a Heisman contender. Give my man some flowers. Ags are 7-0 for the first time since the 90s. Big win. 5. They're on my list.
Taylor Green should be a Heisman candidate. Not, but he should be.
Also, A&M, I think, got some help because that Notre Dame win looks better and better by the week.
Yep, Cade, number 5. We gotta fly through these.
Arizona State, they kept themselves in the Big 12 championship picture by winning that one.
They were an honorable mention for me. Just missed
I didn't
out.
have them on my list, but good for them.
Number 4 for me, Vanderbilt, the Commodores.
I had them way higher on my list.
Yeah,
way higher.
Dominated.
Like number 1 on my list.
I thought the score was very flattering for LSU, and if you watch the game, LSU had that long catch and run, like that fluke pass where Nussmeier got hit, and then Aaron Anderson was spectacular after the catch and outran everybody for a touchdown. Other than that, man, Vanderbilt, especially late in the game, dominated.
Build Diego Pavia, that man's statue, fantastic. I mean, he's absolutely changed the trajectory of Vanderbilt football, maybe forever. The thing you said about Braum, interesting. You could say the same thing about Clark Lee. I think he's got the feel of a Vanderbilt lifer, but
somebody's going to offer him a ton of money.
You should absolutely try to get him out of Nashville. Vanderbilt was at 1 on my list.
Vanderbilt 3 on my list.
All right, who'd you have at 4, Cade?
I had BYU at 4 because now they're in the driver's seat in the Big 12. Won the Holy War, 7-0, driver's seat.
Yep. BYU's on my list at number 2. Who'd you have at 4?
I had Notre Dame. I mean, that was their last test on the schedule. They won the Jeweled Shillelagh or Shillelagh, whatever you want to call it. 10-win team. Got through their last test. They're going. Playoff team.
They dominated, and they beat USC exactly how... if Lincoln Riley was trying to run, that's another name. What if Lincoln Riley's tired of being out there? I don't think he's going to go to the SEC because he ran from it whenever he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah, but their job's open in the Big 12.
Or I think he could try to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
But Lincoln Riley, that's a job that could come open for sure.
Sure.
I had BYU on my list at number 2. Number 3 for me was Alabama. I mean, to me, this was a cumulative top 5 because this is 4 weeks in a row of 4 straight ranked teams, and they thumped Tennessee.
I got him at 2.
Yeah, and that's an incredible run that they've just gone on for the last month.
Ty Simpson.
They look like the best team. Now my eyeballs say Alabama's the best team in the country.
Ty Simpson, Heisman Trophy winner if the season ended today.
Yep.
I actually didn't have Bama on my list, but I really thought about it because they're just demolishing teams.
Now they're going to have to keep it going.
Right now.
They're going to have to keep it going. They still have LSU and Oklahoma on their schedule. For whatever reason, regardless if Hugh Freeze is coaching on the Plains or not, the Iron Bowl is always weird. They're going to have some tests the last 5 games of the season, but tip of the cap to Kalen DeBoer for riding that ship. They were at 2 on my list. I had Georgia at 3.
Who was your 3, Cade?
My 3 was Vanderbilt. We already talked about them.
And my 1 is Georgia. Their season's done if they lose that game. And their offense showed up in a major way, huge way.
Yeah.
And it makes me question Ole Miss's defense a little bit because Georgia, I guess they were like that against Tennessee. So would you put Tennessee and Ole Miss's defense in the same category? If so, Ole Miss has got losses coming. But it's just Kirby Smart, man. And like Gunnar Stockton, I've seen a lot of national talking heads saying he's the Baker Mayfield of college football. And I get it. The way he plays, it's gritty, tough. Just finds a way. I had Georgia number 1.
And a lot of the people that have been naysayers for the Georgia Bulldogs and their abilities to compete for a national championship have been surrounding Gunnar Stockton and his inability to play the game and lead an offense effectively. 4 touchdowns, no picks. Fantastic for him. They look really, really good. I can't believe the trajectory we're on for clean old-fashioned hate last week of the year.
I know.
That'd be so sick if they were 10-1 and 11-0.
Cade, do you have any more that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, so we haven't talked about. My number 2 was I put USF/Navy because Another Memphis lost this weekend.
That is a win for them.
That's a big win for those two programs for the Group of 5 playoff spot. And then my number one was Georgia Tech because they're 7-0. They don't have to play Miami. They don't have to play Virginia. If they take care of business, they'll be 12-0 to finish. I
saw something in my scrolls talking about Georgia Tech's efficiency numbers and their power ratings based off like anticipatory success on plays and stuff. They're like 28th or 29th in the country. Like nobody can explain how they're 7-0.
It's interesting that Cade brought those two teams, USF and Navy, because number one on my loser list. Go ahead and give it away. Memphis. What they lost is a lot more than a football game. If they beat UAB, a 4-loss UAB
with
team,
an interim coach,
they are getting college game day. And the number of applications for their university skyrocket. They were going to play a college football playoff elimination game at their stadium.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Huge loss. That is a huge loss. What they lost is way beyond the football field.
That's another
Memphis
head coach.
was also on my list, on the losers list.
Memphis, number one loser of the week.
That's another head coach that could be on the mood. Ryan Silverfield.
Yeah.
He's done a great job there. All right, losers, we got to go quick. I had Duke as my number 5 loser. Like they gave that game away. Those first 2 drives in the red zone where they fumble, Georgia Tech runs it back. Then the holder, we've seen this year, the holder just drops the snap on a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's 10-point swing right there. And Georgia Tech ended up winning by 9, I think.
You can win a game and still be a loser. Texas, how do you go to overtime with that team? What are we doing? Steve Sarkisian this week doubling down on never giving up the play calling duties.
Who's that sound like?
Buddy, not great. Not great.
If he pulls out the Waffle House menu, he's got real problems in Austin.
They're unimpressive. They could lose 3 more games. Maybe.
Nothing would make me happier.
It'd be awesome. So, Texas, congrats on your win. You're a loser.
Number 5?
My 5 was Memphis, but my 4 is Mark Stoops for that garbage play call in overtime. So
4 for me was Texas Tech.
I had Tech's on my list.
Yeah, they gave that away late, man. Like they rallied back, got in a hole in the road, showed some toughness, rallied back, and then let a very hobbled Arizona State offense go down the field, score, win the game.
Best money team can buy, huh? Tech's 3 on my list.
Tech's 3 on my list.
You don't beat BYU. You're not even going to go to the Big 12 championship game. Your college football playoff hopes are dashed. Great job, Cody.
Yeah, this thing can. But I mean, we're not trying to be. We're trying to be as humble, and like this could happen to A&M like that too.
Absolutely.
So like that's the way football is.
Like A&M could appear on this list next week.
Yeah, the parity right now is crazy. So you got, who was your 4?
LSU. Garrett Nussmeier throwing a fit on the sidelines was hilarious.
That wasn't a great look after the game.
Yeah, I'd love to see
4
BK.
for you?
I already said my 4. My 3 was Tech. We already discussed it. My 2 was Florida State.
Florida State's number 3 on my list.
They've lost 4 straight ACC games. You know that Stanford is 2-2 in the ACC and Florida State is 0-4.
When's the last time Florida State won an ACC game?
Ooh, man, it's been.
Do you know the answer?
No, it was 2023.
I didn't even put them on my list because I told you guys earlier that I didn't even know they lost until like lunchtime on Sunday. I've got Miami at 2 on my list.
I have Miami at 1. Well, it's more specifically probably Carson Beck, but yeah.
Carson Beck, nice Heisman candidacy, dude. Dunzo.
I'm looking up to see.
Is that just part of the Mario Cristobal experience at this point? Like, you're going to be really good. You're going to win some games against some highly ranked opponents, but at some point, you know somebody's going to come out of the woodwork and beat you, a team that has no business knocking you off. Is that just how it's going to go under Mario Cristobal?
Florida State 16, Louisville 6 on December 2nd, 2023. Been a while.
I'm much happier that we've got Mike Elko as the head coach over somebody like Mario Cristobal.
I had Florida State number 3. Number 2, I talked about earlier with Billy, Nebraska.
Oof.
Yuck. And I'm half convinced that
row the boat, though. Row the boat.
Oh, I can't stand that guy. He screams like a just absolute buffoon every time they do something. But I mean, he's winning games at Minnesota. Is he on the list for somebody?
I don't know.
But if Penn State's fan base is going to Mark Stoops this Matt Rule hire, I bet.
Sure.
Like I could 100% see that happen.
Sure, I'd love it.
All right, number 2 for you.
I already gave you my 2. It was Miami.
Okay. Kate, have you have any more left? I had Mississippi State as my number 1.
Nah, I had Miami at 1.
I had Memphis at 1.
Yeah, Mississippi State again, because Every time somebody beats you, they fire their coach. That's not a good look.
They don't think very highly of you at all, huh?
It's a trend at this point.
Sad.
All right. Top 5 tacos, and we're getting out of here. We'll go quickly. Number 5 for me is the fish taco from La Bodega in South College Station.
Why?
Well, I love fish taco. I
like fish tacos, but
it's very fresh. The batter on it is not too thin, and I like the coleslaw they have with it.
I like just basic ground beef tacos, like white people taco night. That's 5 on my list. I want some love for some white people tacos.
I also had white people tacos as my number 5, just like the crunchy beef tacos. Yeah.
I'll do a crunchy shell. I'll do a tortilla. I don't care. It's good.
Number 4, I'm going back to La Bodega, and they're doing black bean and cheese, add queso.
Okay.
Incredible. For a bean and cheese bean and cheese taco, it is remarkably good. And surprisingly light. I feel like I could eat a dozen.
Surprisingly light.
But
you
black
could eat
bean,
a dozen?
it's black refried beans, cheese, and then added queso. They're delicious.
I went with the chicken fajita taco from Buc-ee's.
Oh, good call.
Buc-ee's. I would ride buses with the
Texas Philly cheesesteak taco.
I'd ride buses with the Bombers for a summer. We stop at Buc-ee's on every road trip. That was way better than just a bag of chips for lunch or whatever.
Well, you get a taco from Buc-ee's on a bus, though, especially if it's like a yellow dog, you might be in a bind.
We weren't on yellow dogs, thank goodness. We were on charters. Whew, that'd be terrible.
Cade?
I didn't get as specific as y'all, but I went I just said fried shrimp tacos at number 4.
Like that.
That's good.
My number 3 is the Pastor tacos from La Perlita. La Perlita on Harvey Road in College Station next to the tap. Very good. I love Pastor.
I went the Southern Comfort from Fuego. That's the one that's got it's got potatoes, it's got corn, it's got fried chicken, and some gravy in it. I don't get it that often because I like to eat my filthy taco while I'm at the Fuego, and I don't go to the Fuego that often.
Fuego is delicious.
Fuego is fantastic.
About to make an appearance on my list.
Thinking about DoorDashing it today, but they're not on DoorDash. It was very sad.
I had street tacos just as a generic option for number 3, but I have a specific one for number 2 that I'm gonna say. Oh, for number 2, I have the Al Pastor tacos from the TX Chifa food truck or whatever.
Tex Chifa, yeah, it's good.
Those are good. Those are amazing. With the corn
and
tortilla,
they're open late.
Corn tortilla.
Yeah, that food truck's open late and on DoorDash. Pretty good. TX Chifa.
Huge.
Number 2 for me is the Loco Pollo from Fuego. Chicken, queso, beans, and bacon. Good.
I'm not
delicious.
a big fan of the beans, but the rest of that sounds amazing. All mixed together. Sounds like an awesome trip to the bathroom. 2 on my list is the Trashy Trailer Park from Torchy's. I had it yesterday. I know you're not a big Torchy's guy, but it hit the spot.
All right. Number 1 for you, Cade.
My number 1 is birria tacos from anywhere. They're always good. They're always fantastic. The dip is always great. I mean, they never miss. So number 1. I'm
going the carne guisada with cheese from Polly's Cocina in College Station. They do their tortillas have they brand A&M, the A&M logo in their tortillas. It's pretty sweet. But the carne guisada with cheese is delicious. And you can get it for breakfast or lunch. Versatile.
I don't care where. My number 1 is a chorizo, egg, and cheese bean taco.
Man, chorizo runs through me taco. Like sauce through a sick calf.
For whatever reason, it doesn't kill me, and I like it. I like the way it tastes. It's great breakfast.
The B team stands for?
Booty Juice.
Yeah. Mayor of Butt Piss City.
Ugh, that's not me. That's him.
That's how we're going to end this Top 5 Tuesday edition of the B Team. We'll be back tomorrow. Talk about what we've learned on Wednesday. Get you ready for another giant weekend of college football. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow.